Oh, this is the Powerful Komiksman, Gerald Dorado with
Chris Bacula Podcast.
We are still with the powerful
Vexing Lex.
Yes,
In your area.
NPC in
Hey.
the house.
In your face, in your
Here
face.
in Malabon.
Malabon,
West
thugs.
side.
Wet side, lagi baha dito sa amin.
Parang
Masama ba itong NPC, Gerald?
Itong ating NPC, ito yung hindi siya yung nagpa-umpisa nitong NPC. Pero ito ang ating pambato.
Hi, babe. Good morning. Last
Good
episode.
morning.
Gusto mo bang maging NPC? Malaki ang kikitain mo.
Matulog na lang kayong tatlo diyan.
Ito si pero itong ating pambato sa pagiging NPC. Itong si ano pangalan niya?
Si Queen 22.
Si Queen 22, Queen Bell, parang ganun pangalan niya. Ayan, Queen Bell 22.
So, anong exactly ginagawa ni Queen 22?
Yan yung bagong TikTok trend na ngayon.
Yeah.
No? So, teka, tanggalin masyado. Nakaka-distract ang kanyang boses. Pero in fairness, gusto kong boses niya.
Okay naman.
Na-arouse ka ba dyan, Gerald, habang pinapangga mo si Queen 22?
Hindi naman, pero parang yung mga ganyang klase.
Sorry, nagigigil ako. Gigigil ako sa kanya.
Nakapaninigas ng laman.
Tinakpan niya ang kanyang sirang dingding.
Meron pa siyang
Sirang kisame.
bulaklak na ninakaw sa patay.
Saka alam mong talagang dress to impress.
Yeah.
Makeup, kolorete.
Yeah.
Well, anime inspired yung kanyang anime. Would you agree?
I'd say
Dex?
yeah.
Diba?
It's very much anime.
Bakit
Anime o isang babaeng nagapagbigay ng liw
Why not both?
sa mga TikTokers. So, ano bang comment dito? Notice mo naman ako, cutie. Labi-dabi.
Labi-dabi.
Yeah,
Ba't
yung mga
tinago
comments
yung
yan.
karton? May karton daw na tinago. Oh.
Ano ito? Bakit yan?
Ibang video yan.
Ano ba yan? Bakit?
Nasa baba siya. Nag-scroll up na yan. Ano man sa TikTok.
Ito.
Nag-i-scroll up ng kusa yan.
Bakit ganun? Dapat.
Oh no.
Oh no. We lost her. Bring us back, Queen
Sino ba itong ungas
22.
na to? Anyway.
Ay,
So,
kailangan mo siyang i-replay.
ito, i-replay. So, dapat
Okay.
Dapat siyang nasa...
okay. Tanggalin natin. Nawala na naman.
Ayan,
Ayun,
siya.
ganun pala yun.
Nagpakita ka
Kailangan
ulit.
i-X. Anyway, so yan yung NPC trend na pinauso nitong isa pang bruha na ito. Hindi yan.
Ay, bruha pala yan.
Love ko yung si
Ay, hindi.
Lottie B.
Nakita na lahat.
Gusto ko yung si Lottie B. Hindi yan. Hindi pa yan. Mamaya pa yan. Nawala. Nawala yung... Nagkagulo na.
Nako,
Kasi
Jer.
naman...
Kumalma ka muna.
Okay.
Ito yata yun.
Ano ba yun? Hindi.
Ito. Yan. Yan. Tapos i-search mo na lang yun.
Hindi, natin. Na-off ko. TikTok.
Yan. Pasensya na at we're doing this real time.
Teka.
Hahanapin ni Gerald yung OG. OG ba? Ng
Itong si
NPC?
Pinky Doll.
Yan. Para
Pinky Doll.
magkaroon
Ikaw
kayo ng idea.
yan ang nagpauso ng kahindik-hindik na trend na ito. Ito, si Pinky Doll Real.
Yan.
Diba? So, ang rumor is, ang narinig ko dun sa kwento niya is kakasibak niya lang, nasisante siya sa trabaho.
Okay.
O, basta she lost her job and now, sinubukan niya tong NPC trend na to sa live stream sa TikTok.
Yeah.
Sa TikTok kasi pwede kang magbigay ng nung mga virtual gifts na natawag eh.
Yeah.
Di ko alam kung anong
Parang
tawag nila
Kumu?
doon.
Parang Kumu?
Parang ganun.
Yep.
So, yung parang stars sa Facebook, ganun. So, pero mas madaming pakulo yung sa...
Na convertible into cash.
It is real money basically.
Yep.
So magkakaiba pa yung presyo nun. May mga tig 20 lang, may iba tig 50, iba tig 1K.
Sa atin, Jem, may ganun din, di ba yung donate?
Diba?
Button sa Sawsawan Podcast, mag-donate kayo.
Mag-donate naman kayo sa amin.
Yung heart button dyan na may dollar sign. Ayan,
diba?
donate kayo.
Pero itong NPC na to, ang sinasabi nila is itong babae na to specifically made around $7,000 in one day doing this.
Yeah.
Pero matagal naman yun. Pero kahit na, di ba? $7,000. Sa
In a day.
mga
So sabi mo, Lex, itong NPC is, yung meaning niya is...
It's a non-playable character or non-player character na I guess kasi kapag laging kiniklik mong isang character sa computer, 'di ba? Parang
Hey, get out.
inuulit-ulit lang nila yung sinasabi nila. They don't have the agency. They don't have natural human responses. Kasi limited lang yung effort or yung development nung character niya. Yeah.
Kasi yun lang naman talaga ang purpose niya dun sa game. So, mga games like Red Dead Redemption,
Yeah.
yun yung mas intuitive na na NPC. Siguro pwede mong sabihin na sina Princess Peach were NPC before.
Yeah.
Diba? Pero,
before they were
Fallout.
put into...
pero
Sa
hindi...
Fallout, yeah.
Fallout,
Tama.
di ba?
Yeah,
Parang
yeah.
get out of here.
Oh,
Tapos papatayin mo siya, di ba?
Ganun lang.
Papatayin mo siya. Yeah.
Usually mga sa mga Red Dead Redemption,
GTA.
mga side missions yung
Yeah.
mga binibigay niyan So,
Yeah.
Tapos minsan program lang siya na nakikipag-usap ka. Minsan nga hindi mo napansin, naklik mo na pala na kausapin yung NPC
Kaya nga.
Nahanap mo sino nagsasalita na
Oo
yun.
nga
Di ba?
Oh, tama.
Kasi hindi mo hindi kanya hahabulin.
Tama.
Diba? Although at least yung iba yata, yung mas bago, parang medyo
Sa GTA, parang susunukin ka rin ng NPC.
Oo.
Yeah.
So, yun ang NPC na tinatawag. So, ngayon,
Naging trend.
tama yung sinabi ni Lex pag kinlik mo siya, inulit mo, halimbawa, sinabi niya, hey, Chris Bakula, I saw a stray dog doon. Kinuha yung sandwich nung ale. Habulin mo. Parang ganun. Yun ang mission niya.
Click mo siya ulit.
Pag kinlik mo siya ulit, iibahin naman, i-rephrase naman niya yun para lang hindi maging boring siguro.
The stray dog.
Oh,
Catch
diba?
him.
Ganon.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, get out of here, loser.
Ganon. And it's just gonna cycle through these responses. Kasi if you put in too much effort on like somebody who isn't even significant in the game, like you're just wasting your time.
Mismo, to finish the game.
pero mayroong yan sa political speak naman, yung mga NPC, basically, yan, parang sheep yung kumbaga yung meme na NPC
Yeah.
yung
Yun yung definition niya. Sa
They're basically
political.
just regurgitating yung kung ano man yung tinuro na ideology.
And yun din yung meaning niya doon sa political view. Yung non-playable character.
Yun, non-playable character din. Pero iba yung pagkagamit.
Okay.
Pero dito sa yung sa political naman, yun nga, kumbaga,
Medyo derogatory
oo, 'di ba?
You're just an NPC.
Ibig sabihin, parang hindi ka nag-iisip pa sa sarili mo.
Yeah.
Kung anong sabihin sa yun lang, yun na yun.
So it's the evolution of sheeple.
Tama.
yun.
So, di na sheeple lang uso ngayon, NPC.
Yeah.
NPC.
Marami sa corporate world ay NPC.
Pretty much.
Diba?
I mean, I worked for a long time sa mga contact center and I was required to repeat very specific responses kapag galit na yung customer or kapag may mga ganito silang tanong, and it's very restricting.
Dehumanizing.
Yeah, it's very dehumanizing, and I mean I don't know why this is such a big trend now, but maybe there's something there na hindi ko nakikita eh.
Ito yung meme ng NPC. Ito yung NPC di ba? Parang blanco. Ito na nga, blanco ka na nga. Tapos dito.
Tapos blanco pa siya lalo. Pero ito sa TikTok, yung trend is naging sexualized.
It feels like it, yeah.
Kasi yung babae kanina, si Queen 22
diba?
Parang yung mga kamay niya may ginagawa.
Well, yung una, she's an attractive girl, di ba? So, she looks healthy, maganda yung mukha.
Yung mata.
Tapos, naka-makeup siya, red lipstick. Tapos yung sexy. Ano magtawag sa mga gloves na ganyan, Lex? Lace ba yan?
Lace
Lace gloves,
oh.
yeah.
Diba?
Iba
Parang,
Saka yung kamay niya parang may gustong gawin sa'yo
May specific na movement siya
May specific parang the way niya
actually, nakaka-hypnotize
Oo.
Diba? If you stare at it long enough. Kasi unang, kumbaga, easy to the eyes naman siyang tingnan. Diba?
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Alam mo
so-
yung itsura niya, alam mo sa horror movie na may nagpe-play lang sa TV, parang siya yun eh. Yung character na nagpe-play lang sa TV over and over again, parang siya yun eh.
Actually, yun nga yung idea ng NPC,
Diba?
no?
Yeah.
Parang siya, yun yung creepy dun eh.
Oo, diba?
Yun yung creepy sa yung mga, diba, yung parang
Habang may
naka-blank stare
pinapatay ka,
tapos ano ka lang, tapos ano bang word to describe it? Parang nonchalant ka lang na.
using my hands. Tapos ikaw parang, fuck you. Die.
And that's the thing that a lot of video games now are trying to address na yung violent tendency nga ng mga players na I mean video games don't incite violence,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
First of all,
Totoo yan. I support that.
it's researched na just because you enjoy violent video games doesn't necessarily indicate that you're a violent person.
Yes.
But it does become a gateway for some people to express violent tendencies. And ito namang mga NPCs na to, it does feel very sexual. And I haven't actually seen a male NPC na nakikitrend Jack with this, pero I don't know, it feels weird kasi yung sinabi mo yung term na dehumanizing, na parang why is this so appealing to the audience? Why do people like it so much? Maybe because it's about the control they have over the NPC.
Young women.
Young women, yeah.
Oo nga eh.
Very vulnerable, very fragile.
I don't even know how old yung TikToker na yon. I don't know how old she is.
Wala pa yatang 20 years old yun. From the looks
She
of it.
looks really, really young. And
Oo.
she's aware na meron ngang
Ito,
attractiveness yung...
Ito, lalaking NPC.
So, ibang-iba yung dating
Lalaki.
niya.
Oh, di ba ibang-iba yung dating nung NPC lalaki sa NPC na babae?
Well, ang una, you have to be successful dito sa NPC trend na to, you have to be easy on the eyes.
You
Diba?
have to be,
Kailangan
yeah.
kasi baka kung pangit yan, unless or either yung kung pangit ka, yung talagang napakapangit mo talaga na you can't na hindi mo kumbaga interesting ka na pangit, diba?
I would say capitalize on it. I would say
Oo, diba?
capitalize on looking like if people think you're unconventional, if you're not quote-unquote unattractive, then capitalize on that and use that to your advantage. Gamitin mo yung biases ng mga taong nanonood at nagko-criticize sa'yo and, get that green. Earn money from it.
Yes. And
Pero ang tinawag ko dito sa NPC trend na to, para social decay siya eh.
social decay. Why is it, Je?
Kasi parang una, if you are sino bang nagiging market ng NPC na yan? Sino yung mga magbibigay ng mga gifts na yan, mga virtual gifts? Siyempre, yung mga tao na ako kasi di ako magbibigay diyan. Kumbaga parang let's say probably young men as well.
Very impressionable young
The
men. Yeah.
young men, and most of them are men na walang jowa, 'di ba?
Pero
Kumbaga parang ma-addict ka dun sa to a live streamer, not just NPC. Kumbaga yung live streamer, and you get attention, i-hi ka nila, 'di ba? Oy, thank you sa gift, 'di ba? So to somebody, tapos it's a very attractive woman.
Yeah.
Na parang in real life this guy is either terrified to death to approach an attractive woman na in person, pero dito wala medyo yung barrier ng personal barrier wala yun
Wala.
'di ba? So mas madali sa kanya.
Pero I beg to differ.
Okay.
Feeling ko kasi 2 million likes yung isa yung OG ng NPC So, yung ganong kadaming pera, hindi i-waste ng youth yun Parang kung may youth na parang ganon, na sinasabi mo sa description mo, hindi siya ganon ka-significant Feeling ko yung nagka-patronize dito, kung hindi millennial, nasa Gen X na nadidiscover yung TikTok. Na parang, oy, may mga babae na sumusunod. Tapos may pera ako para mag-afford. Kasi, para mag-waste ka ng time, siguro sa sobrang busy mo, tapos parang outlet mo yun Outlet mo yung magandang babae na tignan Tapos bibigyan mo ng ching-ching.
Pwede.
Ano ba naman yung konting Gcash dito?
So it's not necessarily young men.
Kasi
It
kailangan
can be adults.
Adults.
Who are earning their own money.
No.
That might be the case. Kasi ang naalala ko is TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, it can be It can be a cesspool of mga ganong klaseng predators.
Pedophilia. Pedophiles. Kasi, kasi ito
I don't know the analytics, pero
meron akong parang joke dyan sa TikTok nung nag-stand up ako. Before, hindi mo nakikita yung babae na sumasayaw na nakapangtulog Tapos ngayon nakikita mo na siya
Oo.
As a guy, parang ano yun parang forbidden na image yun Parang nai-imagine mo lang yun noon Parang, ano kaya itsura na itong babaeng ito?
Let's say, kaklase mo dati,
Classmate mo.
nung high school,
Oo.
di ba? Wala
Yeah.
pang TikTok
Oh,
noon.
Yeah.
Tapos lumaki ka na, nagkapamilya ka na, nagkaanak ka na. Tapos ngayon nakikita mo tong bagong app na hindi mo pa nakikita. Parang, shit. Nung age ko, wala pang ganito Tapos nakikita mo na itong mga batang babaeng sumasayaw. Tapos
Bukod
nakokontrol
dyan,
mo sila, di ba?
Bukod dyan, dala-dala mo yung device mo, sa banyo,
Oo.
kahit saan, pwede mo siyang i-access. Di ba? At,
And dopamine hit every time.
di ba?
Yeah.
At, in a way, parang kasi parang, let's say, somebody na, let's say, may classmate ka, na parang na-horny ka doon. Tapos, pero hindi mo kayang ligawan. Let's say, torpe ka. Di ba? Or kahit ano ka lang, wala lang. Parang nanonood ka lang talaga. Paulit-ulit siya kasi nakaloop siya Keep dancing for me. Parang ganun, di ba?
Yeah.
Kung pwede mo siyang i-fetishize na ganun Di ba?
Kasi ako ngayon,
Walang magagawa.
Kasi ako nasa gym space ako, di ba? Yung mga kabataan na napapansin ko doon, very active sila makipag-socialize. Although naka-social media pa rin, pero hindi sila kagaya ng kabataan noon na parang pag hindi sila capable, hanggang doon na lang sila Ngayon na nakikita kong yearning doon sa escape, yung mga nagwo-work. Yung mga nagwo-work doon sa space, yung mga kasamahan ko, yung mga mas older na mga pupunta doon. So sabi ko, ano yung release nila? Like sa Japan, di ba? Ano yung release ng mga Japanese hard-working salaryman? Di ba? Yung entertainment, yung mga Japayuki, di ba?
Oo.
So parang feeling ko, itong TikTok, parang convenient entertainment and release.
And it's free.
It's free.
Well, technically, it's very
And
much
sometimes you can
free.
pay kung gusto mong
Yeah.
pagpagawa nung kagaya ng OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Hindi ma-afford ng college student yun. Kasi yung pera meron siya, papabili lang yan ng alak na yun Or kung ano mang.
Well, dati yun. Ngayon kasi, yung iba, hindi na umiinom. Nasa bahay lang, di ba? So, let's say, meron silang allowance. Well, hindi naman, yung mga sinasabi mo siguro, yun yung mga top donors. Yung mga may pera talaga, di ba? Mga kaya magbigay ng, kaya nilang gumastos ng mga 5,000 a night.
Pero
for
based sa
this.
mga nakausap ko, kasi meron akong client na 18
Okay.
So yung lifestyle, ibang-iba dun sa, yung sinasabi mo, Jet, na parang di nila, sobrang sobrang silang gala, tas na parang hindi ko in-expect, parang ganito kayo ka-open sa lifestyle na ganyan. Or, well, hindi ko pwedeng ma-assume na siya lang yung gano'n, di ba?
Yeah.
Pwedeng siya lang yung gano'n, tas yung mga ka-Asian hindi gano'n. Pero I mean, minsan baka na-underestimate natin yung mga ginagawa ng mga kabataan ngayon.
Yeah. Kasi you don't have to be 18 and up to start earning now. Now there are many ways to earn income without leaving your house. You can be a visual artist, you can be a voice actor, you can go into TikTok. Ang daming paraan na para kumita ngayon. So I think this also proves that what we see on social media is incredibly deceptive. It doesn't show reality as it is, and I feel like that's something that this NPC trend is trying to impact. Yung concept natin of what is real, and how much control do we have of our own lives, and what we see on social media.
Yeah, and also a test of parang this is devolving human interaction Kasi you can interact with di ba yung ibang nasabi ko na rin dito is back in the day, yung typical na magiging crush mo na would be somebody na kaklase mo,
Yeah.
di ba? Somebody na kapitbahay mo, ka-churchmate mo. Kumbaga nakikita mo siya personally.
Yeah.
Di ba? Ngayon, and to have an interaction with that person, you would need to get to know her personally at makapag-muster ng courage para kausapin talaga siya.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Kung hindi mo magagawa 'yon, hindi mo siya makakausap o kaya ipakilala ka ng somebody, 'di ba?
Yeah.
So ngayon, you can have a crush na nag-scroll ka sa, let's say, sa Kumu o sa whatever. Tapos meron kang mapipili na streamer doon and magiging let's say nag-hike ka dun sa kasi mas madali eh. Kasi nung nauso yung text, mas madaling magligaw eh. Text pa lang 'yun, di ba?
Pero yung sinasabi ko na accessibility na meron yung mga bata ngayon eh. Na
yun
pwede
nga.
kang direkta na doon sa crush mo eh.
Yeah.
Kaya
And
nga.
hindi mo dapat isipin na yung other person na kung hinahay mo siya, hindi siya makakaramdam ng feelings dun sa interaction na ibibigay mo sa kanya. Let's say nataypan niya yung nag-hi.
Pwede
Diba?
naman talaga 'yun.
Kasi ngayon, nauso na yung mga Bumble, yung mga Tinder. So
Yeah.
doon pa lang, yun na yung isang point na hindi mo na kailangan lapitan yung crush mo para mag-hook up kayo.
You don't even have to be living in the same country. You don't even have to be the actual person. You could be ano ba to? You could fish.
Yes.
You could be fishing and
And yun yung natutunan ko dun sa mga young people that I know nowadays na you can just hook up using your phone and pwede kayo
Yeah.
mag-meet somewhere.
yeah.
Yung Bumble, iba pa yung dynamics. I'm talking about dun sa streamers. Kasi
Yeah.
yung mga streamers kasi, yung mga successful, sobrang dami nang nag-aano sa kanila. Nagme-message at siyempre minsan yung pag nag-high back sila, almost wala nang meaningless na yun eh. 'Di ba? Sa dami ng
Ay, hindi ako
diba?
naniniwala dyan. Kasi bilang streamer, may mga inaalagaan kang number one client mo.
May mga ganun. May
So,
mga
ayaw
ganun.
mong mawala yun. So, paano pag sinabi ng number one client mo, hey, I wanna meet. So, dun mangyayari yung, shit, ito yung number one client ko. He wants to meet. So, pwede kayong magkaroon ng interaction in person.
I think that now that has to be established na the streamer, the creator, must express specific boundaries. Now, I am willing to do these things for you because you are my number one fan, but here are my non-negotiables. Even ako as a content creator,
naman.
as I do siguro I record mga erotic content at least 2 to 3 times a week. But when people look at my website, www.vexinglex.com, mayroon dong may listahan doon. These are the things that I will not do because people have asked me to do it, assuming that I will. Like one of the most egregious ones is they wanted me to play a Nazi. They wanted me with a German accent. They wanted it to be, in that very specific timeline. So, syempre, I had to tell them, guys, this is not something that I want to do. This is something that is unsafe for me, and I cannot represent this thing because I don't believe in it. So, ngayon, yung assumptions kasi na, hey, I've given you this much money, so you owe me. You owe me a meetup, or I can give you more than what I'm giving you now.
Yan.
Just meet up with me.
Tama yung boundaries na sinet mo eh. Pero as a human, like kunwari merong nag-chat sa'yo na, hey Lex, can we meet for a podcast? Kasi nangyari sa akin yun eh.
Oh, sure.
Nagkaroon ako ng isang guest sa podcast na siya, sa Aluwa. And minessage ko lang siya na kung pwede mag-podcast.
Okay.
And pumayag siya.
Okay.
And hindi ko alam kung nagustuhan ba niya yung profile ko or yung the way ako mag-pitch in nung episode. Pero natuloy eh. Sinundo ko siya sa Laguna. Nag-record kami ng episode sa bahay.
Whoa.
So yun ang sinasabi ko eh. Pwede ka mag-set ng boundaries. Pero minsan, dahil tao ka lang, pag na-feel mo, kung malungkot ka, nagkataon. Kasi tao ka lang eh. Kahit streamer ka, malungkot ka. Sige na nga, wala naman nag-care sa akin kasi parang lahat ng mga nakakausap ko dito parang desensitized na, parang gusto na paggawa. Tapos nakita mo itong follower mo, itong avid fan o kung ano man, lagi siya nandyan, pwede mo siyang bigyan ng chance.
I think that becomes the responsibility na of the streamer.
Yan.
Kasi ito, I mean, this is something that I've already spoken of in my own circles and I'm open about it. My partner was a listener before they became my partner. Tinweet niya ako sa Twitter na ang sarap talaga ng boses ni Vexing Lex, nakaka-in love. That was 2 years ago. And then nag-respond ako, talaga, gusto mo, you wanna hear more than my voice? And then, swerte ko na lang,
Diba? Swerte mo na lang.
swerte ko na lang na hindi pala siya serial killer and hindi pala siya, wala siyang masamang intention sa akin. I consider myself very blessed and very lucky that I did not suffer negative consequences from that. In fact, my life has improved greatly because of it. a lot of people have suffered, like si Christina Grimmie, like fan meetup, diba? I mean, she was fan meetup na yun, tapos meron pang, like she got killed. And very recently lang, diba, si Lea Salonga, she was,
Diba?
people assumed na, hindi kilala namin yung director nito, yung producer nito, so we can do that. And again, a person has the right to express their wants and needs.
Kaya nga, yung sa sinasabi mo, Jen, na parang hindi na kaya lumapit, mas mas na-access mo yung mga taong di mo dapat ma-access eh. Kasi pwede mo siyang one message away eh. Yung kunwari, si Queen yung sino man, pag nagustuhan niya kung paano ka mag-open ng isang pitch or collab, pwede siyang pumunta sa iyo eh. Na dati kailangan mo pa ng manager.
Actually, yun ang punto ko. 'Di ba? This technology allows that, kumbaga, easier access. And also, not just for collabs, yung just the simple act of saying hi, 'di ba? Kasi kung hindi mo kilala, unang-una, kung walang TikTok, hindi ko malalaman that Queen Ay exists.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Kasi paano ko siya malalaman na nag-exist siya? Nandun siya sa Batangas.
Yeah.
'Di ba? So doon pa lang, just the fact na naalaman ko that she exists, na mayroon palang ganong tao sa Batangas, tapos pwede akong mag-hi sa kanya.
Yes, and share
Tapos minsan kasi sa dami, yung mga sinasabi ko kasi kanina is mga top tier na yun eh.
Yeah.
Supporters. Siyempre ano niya na yun, mare-recognize niya na yun. Kung let's say OnlyFans ka or whatever. Pero yung overwhelming majority, like dito sa katulad nitong sina pangalan ito? Yung
Si Queen 22.
Si Queen 22, tuloy-tuloy parang machine gun yung mga nagbibigay sa kanya eh. Hindi mo na makikita.
So kung kasing galing ka nung boyfriend ni Lex, gagawa ka ng something para mapansin ka. 'Di ba? Something para para ka na nililigaw ngayon pero virtual.
Yeah.
Kasi laos na yung ilalapitan mo, hi. Ngayon yung sinasabi ni Lizelle doon sa episode na Hookup Culture, hindi naman yung nangyayari harap-harapan sa gym eh.
No.
Usually hinahanap yung IG. Yung IG, tas doon dinidm sa IG.
And I think tama din yung observation ninyo na more specifically, the internet has removed that veil or that fear of opening up to somebody because you have every access to them eh.
Yeah. And also, it's a public thing and you see other people doing it too.
Yeah.
Diba?
So you message them or you send you send $3, whatever, 200 pesos in the hopes na mapansin ka.
Alam niyo ba na may mga dump account sa Instagram?
As in mga fake.
Kabata, yung dump account, ito ngayon ko lang nalaman to.
What does that mean?
Instagram account siya na para siyang hindi naman siya bot eh. Doon mo pwedeng i-send doon sa gusto mong kalandian yung mga pics mo o yung mga messages mo.
Okay.
Hindi siya official eh. Para siyang dump account na doon nangyayari lahat ng mga kaimoralan.
Which protects your actual identity.
Yes.
It's parang burner phone or parang burner account.
Wala kang friends doon. Mamimili ka kung sino pwede mong i-invite doon or i-accept doon. So doon nangyayari yung mga interactions ng mga kabataan ngayon.
Well, I mean, that's what the internet has created eh.
Yun, easy access. Easy
Yeah.
access to everything.
Exactly. And now, ang punto ko dun sa kanina is, just to finish it, because of this easy access, there would be people na parang, kasi may mga lalaki especially na marurupok eh. Pag nag-hi back o kaya nag-reply sa'yo yung sa TikTok, yung parang video reply, puta, in love na ako sa'yo, di ba? O kaya, lalo na yung may mga streamers na na hindi ganun kadami yung audience niya. Hindi katulad nitong si Belle.
Si Queen?
Si Queen 22. Kasi sa kanya, hindi mo na mabasa kung sino yung nagbibigay eh. Pero yung mga sakto lang na parang meron siyang community of around 50 people, 'di ba? And then yung ibang gifters doon would stay there, parang sila yung nag-uusap and parang unti-unti halata, makikita mo, pwedeng na in love na sila. O kaya sa OnlyFans.
Mas may grand meetup.
Oo, di ba? Tapos kala niya yung tier na pinasukan niya na pwede kang makipag-chat personally, kala niya let's say si Alinity pa rin yung kausap niya.
Iba na pala.
Pero hindi. Hindi ba na, di ba?
Pero feeling ko maliit na percentage ngayon kasi ang aim ng mga bawat TikTokers is to be authentic as possible eh. So gusto nila sila kagad yun eh.
Oo.
Parang gunword. Ako meron akong kalalang babae, nag-work siya dati sa parang sex chat. Tapos parang kunwari ganito siyang babae pero hindi pala. Dati you can get away with it eh. Pero now they want to see you live. Talking to them live. Kasi ang dami ng mga deep fake ngayon eh.
Yep.
So kailangan ko makita ka.
Oo.
Yeah.
Actually, yung mga deepfake at saka AI girlfriends, uso ngayon.
Hindi mo na nga mauuto yung mga tao ngayon pag sinabi mong, sige nga, video chat tayo, video call tayo. Di ba kaya nauso yung mga scandals ngayon, yung mga pagsisend-send sa Telegram ng mga nude photos?
That's why Telegram has ano ba to?
Encrypted?
Encrypted siya, or if you send a video in like this program na hindi mo siya pwedeng i-save, hindi mo siya pwedeng i-copy, and nawawala siya, it deletes itself.
Tama.
Because it creates nga that we acknowledge nga na some people will use that for selfish or nefarious purposes.
So ngayon, dahil easy access na, parang wala nang parang ganun pa rin eh. Parang beer house concept. Meron kang customer na lagi nandyan. Araw-araw nandyan.
Tama, yan.
Hindi niya malabas yung babae na yon. Pero hoping siya someday, baka malabas niya.
Yun.
Tapos may customer doon na nalalabas siya.
Yeah.
So, ganun din yung konsepto ng TikTok.
Nagbago lang yung plataforma
Yan,
Oo.
yan.
And some of the guys there will parang in love ako dun sa isang dancer na to.
Tama.
Yeah.
'Di ba? Nandun ka para magwaldas ng sweldo mo. Kinuwento ko na tropa ko, 'di ba?
Oo.
In love siya sa mga ano doon, sa mga tao doon sa beer house. Pero hindi niya una torpe pa rin siya, 'di ba? Hindi ko nga alam. Pero sa bagay, pwede ka pa rin maging torpe sa TikTok eh. Sa mga
mismo.
Di ba?
O may
Kung talagang
mapagalan.
torpe ka eh.
May emojing torpe, di ba?
Oo, di ba? So,
Ang worst lang dito nakikita ko, ang babata ng mga nakukuha nilang naiengganyo doon sa ganong konsepto eh.
Well, that's the thing. That's my problem nga with the rampant sexuality na nandito sa social media, because it's so public. Anybody can see it, and without the right education, without sex education, without the teaching of boundaries and respect and self-identity, nawawala yung capacity nila to differentiate what what somebody should be doing in that situation. Na, oh no, this is not good for me. I need to step away. I don't feel comfortable with it. I have to protect myself, and I have to say, hey, this is not good. And I mean, trabaho din naman kasi ng mga ganyang like kung beer house na girl ka, kung ano bang tawag sa kanila ngayon?
GRO.
May mga bago na silang mga terms ngayon. But if you're a dancer, their responsibility is to be attractive and it is to make you fall in love with them. That's their job.
Yes.
So kung na-in love ka sa kanila, that means they're doing it right. Yes. But again, boundaries and yung social, ito nga there's this yung term na parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
If you're developing something based off of many assumptions, based off of your imagination, based off of your own fantasies about that person, without getting to know them, without being familiar with who they are, and without even realizing na baka naman mali yung pinapantasyahan ko nito, that becomes a problem. Particularly when it's when it's public.
Obsession na.
When it's
dating.
obsession.
Yeah.
especially if you don't really have access. Let's say kunyari, meron kang crush na in love ka sa isang streamer in Cebu. Tapos ikaw hindi ka naman makapunta sa Cebu kasi let's say bata ka, wala kang pera. Tapos in love ka lang sa kanya na parang doon umiikot yung buhay mo, 'di ba? Na parang yung sweldo mo nauubos sa kanya, 'di ba?
Sabihin mo kay Sian Gasa yan, Jack. Nagpatayo siya ng malaking billboard para kay sino ba yung artista na yun?
Si
Yung
Ano,
artist
Jessie,
ng-
hindi.
Yun si
Nalimutan ko na, no?
yung malaking boobs
May,
pinagawa.
may confession ako sa'yo, Gerald.
Ano?
Apat na foreigners that are actually going to visit the Philippines because they want to meet up with me.
Yeah.
One is from the UK, one is from the US, tapos isa from like Asia, tapos isa naman from Australia. Yung isa nga, and these are people that I've been talking to for over 2.5 years
Yung
now.
rapport na
There
na-build.
was an actual rapport. And I told them, our online relationship might be different from our physical relationship. I want to set your expectation na you're only able to talk to me when I'm online. But when we meet up in person, that's gonna be every fucking day na magkasama tayo. And you're the one spending time and effort and money to meet up with me.
Yan.
The thing is, I also have to respect and honor that and tell them, hey, these are the things that I can do with you. Kasi before I was in a relationship and we're monogam-ish, so we're focusing mostly on each other. Iba pang conversation yon.
Okay.
Na sige, you wanna come here because you want us to have sex, because you feel like you can trust me with that and I can trust you with that. And that takes time. That's not something that you can assume na I've paid you $1,000. Let's do it.
Yes.
Kahit nga dito, kahit gaano kadaming pera ang binibigay mo sa isang dancer,
Oo.
kung ayaw nila, hindi sila
Tama.
papayag dyan.
And doon nagko-fall yung building of rapport. And doon mo may-segregate yung abilidad sa obsession.
Yep.
Kasi pwede ka rin maging obsessed pero may abilidad ka. By the way, si Erich Gonzalez yun, yung Billboard.
Yeah.
Ayun.
Oh.
So
okay.
parang pwede mangyari yun eh. Marami ako nakita mga stories na isang fan na in love sa artista.
Favorite idol nila.
Idol
Yeah.
nila dati, tas ngayon nakuha na nila kasi 'di ba naging assertive sila, naging consistent sila,
Yeah.
persistent. And pwede mangyari yun ngayon eh. Nowadays sa mga kumari si Queen Eye, merong laging nagchat tas parang nagustuhan rin niya yung itsura nung kung sino mang Poncio
Yeah.
Pilato na yun. Pwede mangyari yun eh.
Yeah. But it takes time. It's not something that you can assume a person will give you just because you have the money
Ito
for
pa
it.
ang pinaka-scary. Sa sobrang familiar nila, like tayo ni Jed, di ba? We speak our mind here. Sa sobrang familiar nila sa atin, they can just approach us. Hi, Jed. What's up?
And feel like the same energy that we have
Oo,
here.
kasi may conversation na kasi sila. Oy, Jed, by the way, yung about dun sa... Pero ikaw, wala ka pa sa mood na makipag-conversate sa kanila. Kasi taka lang, sino ka ba?
Oo.
Pero sila, they feel like they know you kasi I've been listening to your podcast every day,
Parasocial
every night.
relationship.
Nangyayari naman talaga yun. Kumbaga parang tumama ka sa loto, tangina, naging girlfriend ko si Queen Eye, di ba? Pwede namang mangyari talaga yun. Hindi man imposible yun.
Yeah.
Pero, dun sa isang nanalo sa loto na yun, ilan yung
tumaya?
Ilan tumaya,
Parang,
tama.
hindi ako, no. Kumbaga okay lang kung kay Queen Eye na nasa TikTok ka lang. Pero kung let's say OnlyFans donor ka, ano bang tawag sa mga patrons?
Sponsors.
Diba?
Yeah.
Na parang, dun sa OnlyFans kasi nakikita mo naguhubad yung yung model, 'di ba?
Yep.
Nakikita mo may dirty talk siya sa iyo. It could get a lot more intimate. Tapos pwede ka talagang ma-in love doon, pwede ka talagang ma-addict. Actually, hindi ma-in love, tingin ko more on addiction 'yun eh.
Malilibugan
Oo,
ka lang.
diba?
Yeah.
Tingin ko more on magiging addict ka doon sa attention na binibigay na sa iyo na hindi kasi we safe to assume na maganda yung OnlyFans model na yun. Na parang malamang hindi mo abot sa tunay na buhay or you don't perceive yourself to be worthy of the attention of such beautiful woman. Diba? Pero doon sa OnlyFans, kachat ko bigla si Alinity, nagme-message sa akin, kumain na daw ba ako? Diba? Kunyari, diba? So,
Saka bro?
tawag niya sa akin, baby. Diba?
Saka bro, one factor yung resources na meron ka eh. Kung anak ka ng mayaman, 'di ba? Kung may hacienda ka, 'di ba? Isang factor kahit na nobody ka.
Or kung celebrity ka din.
Or hindi ka famous, anak ka lang ng isang mayamang hasyendero, pwede mong gawin 'yun eh. Pwede mong i-insist yung will mo eh.
Yeah.
Well, kung ganun ka, swerte ka kasi lalo na kung may self-esteem ka. Pero most people are not like that, 'di ba? Most people are also, aside from being broke, they're also low in self-esteem and low in self-development And some of them are even depressed. And kumbaga itong mga katulad nito na mga streamers, OnlyFans, those are very easy na vices to fall into. 'Di ba? Parang shit. Tapos all of a sudden you are wasting your energy and time being investing on emotion on somebody who will never give it back to you. Na for them it's just for them to make money. 'Di ba? Na wala talagang pero yung feeling mo doon genuine. Kasi parang hindi naman more like parang hindi instant what's the right word? Parang basta hindi tunay. Anong word doon?
Manufactured.
Pero feeling ko aware naman sila doon na manufactured yun. Kasi kaya, siguro sinasabi niya ng streamer na parang ito, may mga boundaries
Artificial. Okay.
Feeling ko, kung meron siguro may mga lalaking or fans na sobrang dumb na ganun. Pero, mostly sa kanila, alam nila na artificial yun. And kaya sila doon for the entertainment or for the fetish or alam mo yun, kung whatever floats their boat.
And that's why now as part of my advocacy, I want to help create the awareness nga that sex work is work. This is something that people do as a profession, and there are rights to this. Not just because we are presenting ourselves as very sexual creatures doesn't mean that we cannot say no. And yun nga, ito yung yung problema natin locally because we don't have that kind of education to tell people na consent is such a huge thing. You have to tell a person na just because they are your girlfriend does not entitle you to have whatever you want from them.
Girlfriend or wife.
Yeah. Yes. Just because they are your partner. And I'm saying just because they're your husband doesn't mean you can abuse them. You have you should speak like this to them. And it's such a big problem locally na lalo pang na-aggravate because of the internet.
Meron kaming napag-usapan namin yung sex work is work di ba? So, yung isang point na ni-raise namin dito is, well, yes, of course, we agree that sex work is really work. Pero sometimes, parang overly, tawag dito, yung promoting it without giving the realities of what sex work is. Because it could be really dangerous.
It is.
Diba?
It is
very
incredibly
dangerous.
yeah.
Diba? Na
Yan
parang,
ba yung kay kay transformation something?
Diba? Na parang, it could easily, and first of all, there's a lot of, there are different levels of sex work.
Yeah.
Diba? So, may mga online creators, like, let's say,
Si Queen 22, kunwari, na-label siya as one.
Siguro, maybe. Kung gusto mong isama siya, hindi pa ako sure kung pwede ko siya isama.
Yeah.
Diba? So, kasi fetish pa lang naman yun pero let's say, yung OnlyFans or Aluwa or whatever.
Yes.
Diba? So, ganun. Yun ang...
Salome.
You can consider that as sex work
Yes.
Diba? It is actually sex work.
Oh.
Pero, that is relatively safe kasi
controlled.
Ang damage mo dun is your personal mental health kung meron ka magiging damage dun.
Yeah.
It's not even entirely safe. Kasi damage could come in various forms.
Yes.
Kasi you can, kumbaga,
Pwede physical.
Yung regret afterwards, if you don't consider it, it is very real.
It will haunt you.
Di ba?
Yep.
Tapos, yung family, pag nalaman nila na you're involved in such work, di ba?
Diba? So those are hazards. Tapos meron pang makukulit na fans, 'di ba? Na pwedeng
puntang ka sa bahay.
Okay, busitin ka lang, 'di ba? Tangina mga entitled na fans, 'di ba?
Kung sa atin nga kay Libayan, kahit di pa tayo nag-sex work, ang dami mga hate speech. Paano kayo pag nagpakita kami ng edits ni Gerald?
Anyway. Pero doon pa lang yun. For me, that is the safest kind of sex work Na parang
at least all you have to do to protect yourself is to turn off your computer.
Yes,
diba?
To not post anything.
Wala
Just
ka
go
doon
online.
sa front line.
what if meron kang let's say talagang you are actually
There. Yung
oo,
katawan mo talagang hubot-hubad.
o kaya yung talagang nakikipag-sex ka, 'di ba?
Nga, hubot-hubad ka sa isang lalaki na hindi mo kakilala.
So hindi lang mental trauma, it's also physical trauma.
Physical, oo.
And the risk
Sige,
of
sige.
being abused or harmed physically by your
Yes, yes.
customers.
And that's why consent is defined as FRIES or yung fries. Have you heard of this term?
No.
No.
Okay, fries. Consent should follow these terms or this category. It should be. Teka, I just want to be sure that I'm saying it right.
Sige.
Magbabalik kami pagkatapos na. Hindi. Tuloy pa rin.
Tuloy lang.
Tuloy lang.
Consent.
Panoorin natin si Queen.
Consent.
Queen 22.
Queen 22, balang araw, ikaw naman, lalabas sa Viva.
Okay, ayun. I found it.
Oh.
So the first thing, consent should be freely given.
Oh.
Next is reversible. Next is informed. And then enthusiastic and specific. So freely given, it means you should not have been coerced into giving it. You should not be forced into it. And it should be because you are, you were able to say yes to it without anybody forcing you. Next, reversible. At any time, particularly when it comes to sex work, if you feel like you're not safe in it, or not even in sex work, even in a relationship, if you feel like there's something endangering you, you feel unsafe with this person, you have a right to be able to say, okay, teka lang, I need time, I need my space, I don't feel safe, I don't feel comfortable. Another one is yung informed. You have to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. Hindi pwede na, uy, punta ka dito, photo session lang tayo, picturean kita, model ka lang, and then there's gonna be something else pala na mangyayari, which has happened before in the Philippines. Ang daming kasong ganyan.
Marami yan.
And then enthusiastic. Like, if it's not a fuck yeah, it's a hell no. And then, of course, yung specific, I am saying yes to these things. Kaya nga, this is a thing that I only recently learned. There's yung mga intimacy directors sa yung for intimacy scenes or sex scenes in theater and in film. It's a whole process. Kasi ituturo mo man, okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put your hand on their shoulder, and then dahan-dahan mo nga alisin yung damit niya, pero hanggang dito lang. It's a whole dance. And there's choreography in it.
Yun.
So I think that's what people forget eh.
Sa Viva Max ba, may tingin mo may ganyan?
Pero kasi, Lex,
Parang wala. Hindi ko alam.
Pero kasi,
Hindi ko alam.
Lex, that's the standard in a perfect world.
Yeah.
Pero in reality, yung
Not everybody
boundaries
gets that freedom.
can be crossed Di ba?
And tingin ko, ang point ko talaga is, parang, I think before you, let's say, ikaw, na, you're a sex worker or pro-sex worker, parang, a lot of things kasi, madaming factors na parang, to you, let's say, bata ka, na parang, iba pa yung values mo nung bata ka Na parang, hindi, okay lang to. Kasi wala ka pang, hindi mo pa nakikita yung future.
Kumikita ko ng malaki.
Oh, di ba? Yun lang ang mahalaga sa'yo.
Pera.
Diba? Na parang, hindi mo nako-consider yun, yung future. Kasi ako, ganun ako dati Na parang, hindi ko naiisip yung, or very rare na I look 10 years ahead. What if yung consequences ng ginagawa ko ngayon, ano bang mangyayari sa akin? And also, so that's one of the pwedeng maging hassle doon sa. So ang point ko is yung mga nagpo-promote, I think should also tell about the dangers and the hazards of the trade.
And now that's thanks to social media, a lot of porn stars are able to speak up na, hey, this is not always going to be fun. This isn't going to be all very sexy.
Diba?
This isn't even lucrative in many ways. Like you have to be like at the very top of the pecking order. Like even in gay porn, kung ikaw yung giver, kung ikaw yung top, you earn more than the receiver. So meron pa ring financial difficulties yung mga porn stars. And Maria Ozawa, when she visited the Philippines, was very vocal about it wasn't fun most of the time. It was a very serious thing na ang daming struggles niya. And just kaya nga you have to be informed. That's why children, you cannot assume consent of a child because they don't know everything
Sabi
about
nga
it.
ni Je, 16 to 25, hindi pa masyadong formed yung brain.
A lot of things can still change, and that's why sex education is very important within the right boundaries. Now, you don't just show people having sex to children. No, that's not it. It's knowing that if you feel like something weird is happening to you, you have to be able to speak up about it. Kasi karapatan ng tao na matrato bilang tao.
Yes, of course. Siguro yung isang ano ko lang gusto kong i-raise is yung okay sa akin yung sex work is work kasi libertarian naman ako eh. Parang I get the idea na bahala ka sa buhay mo, sa katawan mo, your body, your choice. I get that. Pero yung when you are promoting it na parang as if there's
Come join the fun. Ganun.
At saka you are parang promoting it as if it's just like any other job. Na parang, hindi, para ka lang nag-service crew sa McDo nito. Parang ganun.
And not to differentiate yung work na ginagawa mo from yung other type of sex work, of a variety of sex work out there na mas dangerous, di ba?
Na dapat talaga may
Kasi
responsibility
disservice yun
siya. The sex worker needs to be responsible enough to say that. Na there has to be these boundaries na, hey, I'm creating a space lang na pag on shift ako, ito yung personality ko. Outside of that, sorry to disappoint you, I'm not going to be like that all the time.
Well, and also, parang personal responsibility mo rin. Parang, hey, parang if this looks dangerous, diba? Or kailangan, look into what you're getting into. Na parang, teka, okay, I'm gonna be a porn star. I'm seriously thinking about being a porn star. Will I regret this later on?
Yeah.
Diba? Kumbaga, you should be informed na parang, kumbaga, mag-iisip ka. If you can decide na ganun pa rin mangyayari, okay lang sa'yo, then kahit nga mag-decide ka ngayon, pwedeng mag-iba pa rin eh.
Yeah.
People change, man.
Yeah.
People change.
And yung nga sinabi mo na, in a perfect world, consent would always be respected.
Yes.
Sex education would be accessible to everybody, and people will be taught about their rights. Unfortunately, it's not. That's why I'm doing this as my personal platform to tell people that just because you see other people capable of doing this, just because they look like they're successful, doesn't mean it will have the same impact on you.
Yes. And sabi mo nga kanina, Lex, before we recorded this episode, people are forced to rely on income to live life.
Yeah. Na
Minsan yun yung driving factor nito mga to.
yeah, kasi sabihin na natin, let's put this out there na there's a casting director or there's a CEO or there's an employee na kailangan dapat may male version din eh.
Ikaw gumawa.
Sige, kaya mo na yan. Kaya mo na yan.
So
NPC. Male voice.
Ano ba to? Na people are assuming na, hey, you need the money, right? You want your salary. You want to get this job. You want to be the lead actor or actress in this role. What are you willing to do about it? So they're taking advantage of people.
You want to star in your own action movie and have the longest running series in Filipino.
Oh my God.
We will give you all of it. More
As
powerful than Jean-Lloyd Cruz.
Yun, and that's the thing.
Will be the face.
People like that are taken advantage of, and the only way that they can see out of it is through things that they normally wouldn't say yes to, because that's what society has deemed na ito lang pwede naming ibigay sa'yo, ito lang yung kaya mong magawa, which is not fair. There are a lot of sex workers that have spoken up na, if I had an opportunity to do something else, I would. But this is where I am now. This is where my income is. There are a lot of obviously you're probably going to have a different experience, but there are a lot of professional bodybuilders who now have an OnlyFans or a Just for Fans or whatever. They have a porn identity outside of their bodybuilding persona kasi mas malaki yung kinikita nila doon.
Si the late great, yung kapatid ni Nick Carter. Si
Aaron
Aaron Carter,
Carter.
na namatay, before siya namatay, meron siyang OnlyFans. Dude,
Yeah.
sige mo si Aaron Carter, nakita ko siya, I had a crush on you. Tapos pinapakita niya yung titi niya.
I saw this guy grow up, and then he suffered the consequences of being a child star.
Oh.
And of course that ang dami pang mga kailangan to unpack there.
Tapos nalaos siya. Tapos
Yeah.
naging drug addict siya.
Yeah.
Hindi na siya cute. Nagkaroon siya ng OnlyFans, pinapakita niya yung patutoy niya. Tapos ano nangyari niya?
There are many factors to that, and unfortunately nga,
Killed himself.
in an ideal world, sex should not be forced on anybody. It should not be used as payment for any kind of favor. But that's why we're trying to teach people. That's why we're yung podcasts mo, yung how to think. Tikim. And then of course itong Sawsawan, it encourages and challenges thought, like critical thinking, and why this is important for me, and why I joined itong these 2 episodes, because I feel safe enough to discuss things that might not necessarily be in agreement with what you guys are doing or with what your audience is doing, but you have encouraged me by asking me questions that challenge my belief, and questions that that make me confront tama ba talaga tong iniisip ko. And right now I don't feel threatened, I don't feel disrespected. And I wish there were more. I wish that there would be more podcasts like this. It's not just male ego. It's not just chauvinism. It's not just toxic masculinity. Na talagang okay. These are the problems that I have with the world, and I want to discuss it. Because again, this is not necessarily to change any of your minds. This is to see what your minds are made of, the shape of your opinions. But if somebody out there needs an opinion to form or needs to shape their own identity, at least may space tayo to create this na we're not just throwing our dicks around na hey we I'm sure people would love to see that, but
OnlyFans.
Again, this is for critical thinking, and we want people to be able to sit down and say, hey, I have an opinion about this and I want to share it with you.
Yes. And we thank you for...
Thank
kasi,
you.
Again, you are a very articulate man, and yun ang talagang hinahangaan ko dito kay
Vexing Lex.
Kay Vexing Lex.
Thank you very much.
And obviously a very smart dude as well. And yun.
We can end it.
Anong oras na ba tayo?
Mag-1 hour.
Mag-1 hour na rin tayo.
Ayun.
May sakit kasi ako. Actually.
Maraming
Thank
salamat.
you very much, my friend.
Dex.
Thank you.
Dex,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We just shook hands, hindi nakita sa camera.
Ulit. Scripted. Para kaming NPC. We will shake everybody's hands.
Pero hopefully we can do this again. And,
Please.
diba?
Now
So,
that I'm back in QC.
Yeah.
Actually, si Lex for a while became a wild man.
A hermit.
In Cavite, di ba? Cavite.
Nasa Cavite.
Akala ko nga doon siya galing. Sabi ko mag-angkas all the way from Cavite. Yung QC lang ba?
Lumipat na ako.
Oo nga eh. So, for better or for worse. Pero it looks like you're actually looking better.
So much
right
better,
now.
man.
Diba?
Thank you very much.
Man.
Mukhang dahil meron na siyang chorba.
Shout out.
Nadidiligan na ako eh. Babe, babe. Pauwi na ako. Ihanda mo yung air ko magpapainit tayo mamaya.
I-choke mo. I-choke slam mo siya. I-choke slam.
Gusto niyo yun.
Anyway,
Okay.
yun muna. Paalam.
We are out.
Sawsawan Podcast.